And I now invite the distinguished representative of Armenia to take the floor.
Mr. President, we thank the Secretary General for presenting the report on the work of the organization and highlighting the priorities for 2024. Armenia notes the reflections on the diverse and evolving threats and challenges affecting the maintenance of international peace, development, and human rights, as well as on the ability of the United Nations to respond to the multitude of issues it had been facing. As ever, the resilience and efficiency of the organization continue to be put to the test, in particular in situations of conflict and crisis. Timely and coherent action to mobilize and deliver adequate humanitarian response to the people in need remain a major challenge, as do the mechanisms for conflict prevention and resolution. Mr. President, while acknowledging the remarkable service and contribution of the UN personnel in protecting human life, human rights, and human dignity in various parts of the world, we are compelled to note with deep concern that time and again the organization has not been able to deliver protection to vulnerable communities facing existential threats. The blockade and starvation of the population of Nagorno-Karabakh, with the barbaric siege of its only transportation lifeline, which started in December 2022 and culminated in September 2023 with the use of deadly military action against innocent civilian population, is one explicit example of premeditated ethnic cleansing which was gradually perpetrated under the watch of the international community. It has resulted in widespread forced displacement of the entire ethnic Armenian population, immense sufferings caused to the civilians, and indeed a most brazen and blatant violation of international law, including the very charter of this organization. Despite a multitude of clearly detectable early warning signs and calls for intervention, the United Nations fell short of addressing the egregious violations committed in Nagorno-Karabakh. Not only does this failure constitute a breach of the fundamental principles upon which this very organization was established, but it also signifies, in no uncertain terms, a major departure from the internationally endorsed commitment of the responsibility to protect populations from atrocity crimes, including genocides and ethnic cleansings. As we address the annual report of the UN Secretary General, we trust that moving forward, the organization will acknowledge the gravity of these violations and reflect on its failure to prevent them. Mr. President, the report refers to the promotion of justice and settlement of disputes, notably through the work of the International Court of Justice and its rulings, including through the indication of provisional measures. It should be recalled that in the period from 2021 to 2023, the International Court of Justice issued 8 provisional measures, 8, against Azerbaijan, including the legally binding obligation to ensure unimpeded movement of persons, vehicles, and cargo along the Lachin corridor in both directions, as well as the obligation to ensure that persons who have forced out of Nagorno-Karabakh after 19 September 2023 are able to return in a safe and unimpeded manner. Compliance with the decisions of the ICJ is fundamental in ensuring that justice can be served and that breaches to international law can be essentially prevented in the future, whereas failure to do so only serves the interests of those who seek to undermine the viability of international law and to challenge the integrity and credibility of international legal system. The United Nations, through its respective actions and mandates, has a distinct responsibility to ensure that rule of law prevails over violence and aggression, and that justice and accountability remain essential in guiding the work of the organization. Armenia is committed to promoting accountability and fighting impunity as demonstrated by our recent accession to the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, effective since 1st February 2024. Mr. President, as ever, Armenia remains steadfast in supporting efforts for strengthening the efficiency of the organization, its resilience and integrity in the face of current and evolving challenges. Thank you.